Okay, good afternoon all. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. So last time I told you about the transitions diagram. Okay. So and I told you how to design the lexical analyzer for the compiler. We were at this slide. Okay. Different transition diagrams we have to combine appropriately. Okay, and as I mentioned that combining them is not a trivial task. Okay, because for everything you have one transition diagram, like for identifier, operators, okay, then numbers you have, keywords, okay, for everything you have a transition diagram. Transition diagrams are nothing but finite automata. Okay, so and I also told you that if you are designing a transition diagrams, generally we use this sequence. First the keywords, then constants, integer, float, then identifier, operator. They have to design in that order. Okay. And then from that diagram, I told you how to get this code. Okay. So different, this each state, okay, is one case, switch case. Okay, and depending on the input, you iterate through this. Okay, and there is a while loop. Okay. So this code we have seen in the last lecture. So basically I wanted to tell that transition diagrams are very useful for designing purpose, and those transition diagrams are implemented. Okay, transition diagrams are implemented as some loop and some switch cases. Those things finally are combined in some sense, and lexical analysis is taken place. Okay. So you know there is an automatic lexical analyzer, automatic tool for that. Okay, so the entire process is like this. If you are a compiler designer, first you need to find out the programming constructs like identifier, uh, constant, then variable names, then integer constant, floating constants, etc. You have to recognize those things. Then you have to create patterns, regular expressions. Then you have to create finite automata or transition diagrams. Then you have to create a code out of it. Then you have to merge those code together. And finally, this combined thing, the software which is combined, okay, out of all this implementation transition diagrams, okay, that is going to work for a lexical analyzer. But this is indeed a very difficult task. Okay, so there is an automatic tool which you are trying in the lab that is called a Lex. Okay, this is an automatic tool where you are just going to give patterns. What you want to do for that, you just write a regular expressions or patterns, and you also write the C code, okay, that you want to execute, and automatically these patterns are converted to code. Okay, actually first patterns are converted to, patterns means regular expressions, they are converted to, this is a sequence, listen, NFA first, then NFA is converted to DFA, and that DFA is implement, DFAs are combined, okay, and then those combined representation is implemented as C code, okay, C code using switch cases and loops, okay, the entire lexical analyzer is done. Okay, so from pattern that you are going to mention, there is a NFA. What is NFA? Anybody can tell me what is NFA? Non-deterministic finite automata, correct, Jack? Okay, which that means on a from one state, on one symbol there could be many transitions. Okay, while in deterministic finite automata, from one state On one symbol there is a unique transition. Okay, so so NFA to DFA, do you know which algorithm is used to convert NFA to DFA? You must have learned this algorithm to convert NFA to DFA. I just want a name of that algorithm. That method, what was that? Using subset construction method. Was that the thing? NFA to DFA? Yes. Okay. And then finally, so internally in Lex tool also does this. Whatever the definitions that you are going to give, the Lex tool converts it to NFA first automatically. Then from NFA, it creates a DFA using the algorithm subset construction. Then this DFA are implemented. Just like I told you from transition diagram, how can you write the code? So in the similar manner, the Lex tool converts the DFA to code. Okay, and now that code is going to be used for lexical analysis. So this is the basic. Okay. Um, Remember, in Lex, we are going to see today few examples. Okay. Uh, we have to use the principle of longest match. For example, the next, sorry, then next. Okay, so in if you consider then next, if you take it directly, the entire thing, okay, then ext, it would be an identifier, right? If you take it entirely, it is an identifier. Okay, but suppose there is a programming language where then is a reserved word. Then is a reserved word. Okay, so what will happen? You then next normally is an identifier, right? But if you want to recognize then as a reserved word and ext as an identifier, this separately you want. So then is, let's say, reserved word, and then there should be ext, which is an identifier, like that. Okay, then what do you think in Lex program? What should be the order uh, of this? Uh, should we have the pattern for identifier first in sequence, or first you have to write then, like this, then, and you write some like printf something, right? You print something like this, and then you should write an IDE and then write a code. If you want to recognize then, okay, uh, an identifier, then printf, you write something like this. Okay, this is one sequence. First you write then, and then you execute some action. Printf is not blank. I have just to give an example, right? Then identifier, if it is occurring, then write printf and its action. Okay, is this a correct sequence? First then and then id, or not? I'm talking about Lex programs. I want to recognize then as a result keyword. My question is this a correct sequence? First I should write then and then I should write ID, because ID is what? Letter followed by letter or digits. ID is that. Letter followed by letter or digits. Okay. So if you rearrange the sequence, first you write a pattern of ID and then you write a then, will it matter or not? You just answer this question. Does this thing matter? The sequence in which you write the patterns in Lex program, is it going to affect the output of your program or not? So the answer is yes. Okay. So actually it affects in which order you write. Let us see the example so that you can understand. Okay, so actually we work on the principle of longest match. Okay, so let's see one example. Okay, So you know what is a lex? Lex is a language for describing regular expression. Okay, it generates a pattern matcher, basically lexical analyzer for the regular expression. Okay, so you give regular expression and corresponding C code. Okay, what are the sections of lex? Okay, there are basically three sections. First is a definition section, which is optional. Then between these percentage symbols, there is a rules section, which is essential, compulsory section. And then last section is a user subroutine section, where you write some functions. Okay. So remember, definition is you are going to define what is like, let's say, digit, what is a letter. So that thing is you are defining, definition section. Then there is a rules section. Rules are nothing but patterns. Okay, and which is essential section. Then there are some subroutine section, which is also essential section. What you do, how you compile? First you do lex program name.l. It will create a C program, lex.yy.c. Okay, whenever you do lex and program name.l, it creates a one C code in your current folder, lex.yy.c. You compile this using GCC, and then you run it. That is, you execute. This is the normal sequence that you practice, right? So let us see one example. Okay. So this is a simple example. This is a character class A to Z. Plus means one or more occurrence. Okay. And you can see this is between percentage sign. So this is a rules section. There is no definition section. This is a simple comment. Okay. So whenever you recognize any sequence of A to Z, one or more occurrence of A to Z, capital A to Z, what you do is just echo. Now echo is just going to print the matching string. Okay, echo is just going to print the matching string. Okay, whatever this A to Z plus is going to match, that will be echoed to you. Then you are going to print slash n. The next rule is dot or slash n. So dot means what? The dot means, yes, anybody would like to dot match is what? In Lex program, dot match is what? So I hope, yes, anybody? Rahil, yes. Any character except new line. Very correct. Yes, Saloni. Anything is correct, but it will not match the new line character. Henna, Ja, is this clear or not? That's why I separately write the new line character. Okay. So if it is any character other than new line, or despite means or new line, then I am not doing any action. So this semicolon just means I am, this code section is blank. Okay. YY wrap is a subroutine section to proper wrap up of the Lex program. And from the main program, okay, main function, you are calling YYLex. So YYLex is actually a call to a scanner. Okay, YYLex is a function. Okay, it is a call to a lexical analyzer. Okay, tool automatically creates a lexical analyzer. YYLex is a call to the lexical analyzer, and YYWrap is for proper wrap up. Okay, from the lexical analyzer. Okay, so now you see what is an input. Here there is a input section given. So you see there is a small letter WWEV, but small letter WWE will match to which section? First section, first rule or second rule? Which rule it will match? W, W, first W. W is not part of this, so W will match to this dot, second, right? Yes or no? Small w. Because first rule matches the words of capital letters. Yes, am I correct or not? Hannah, Saloni, Jack. Yes. Okay. So small w will match here and there is no action. Okay. Similarly, E, W and EV up to this, there is no corresponding action, so it is nothing is going to be printed. But whenever we have capital letter W and sequence of that, okay, up to this W E U F W I G, that will match with this pattern. And so what is a task? You are going to echo it. Echo is a default task also, and so WEUFWIG, it is going to be given as an output. So you can see this is the output. And then there is a printf /n. So there will be a new line. Okay. Then small h, you see small h is again going to match with the this dot, and nothing is going to be happening because it's a blank. No code is there. But then there is a capital H. Okay, capital H, then there is a small b. So the capital H will match with this. So it will be echoed, and then there will be a print a new line. Okay. So again KK will be matched to this, and then again capital H will be matching. Again it will go to the new line. So whichever the letters are capital, okay, like this and this SDWE, okay, and then this T, this every, then FL, and then last T. Okay, this every capital sequence of words will come to the next line, and that will be printed. Okay, so the action is to recognize only capital letters, capital words. Okay, the words which are written in capital, those are recognized, and then it is followed by /n. So every capital word or word could be one letter or more than one letter. Okay, so that would come in the next line. Okay, and if it is a small letter, it will match with the second rule. Okay, and there is no associated code, so simply it will be do nothing kind of thing. Okay, so I hope you got the input and output from the program. Yes, at least yes. Okay, fine. Okay, so let us go to the next program. Okay, so you see definitions are like this, like digit is 0 to 9. So this is called a character class. Whatever you are writing between this is called a character class. So 0 to 9. So this dash is a range. Okay, the characters from 0 to 9. And what is the number? Number. Whenever you write something about digit, you have to write it in curly brackets. Digit followed by digit star, which means one or more digit. Remember, you must have seen that whatever the code is that you are going to write, for example, for Lex program, if you want to write some variable names, if you want to define some, create some variables, or you want to write some code, that has to be written in this symbol, percentage, curly bracket, that should be starting. Then you should write declaration and everything. Like here, I have defined a float number and integer count 0 is equal to 0. And that should be ended with this. Everything between these brackets is directly copied to the created lexical analyzer. Okay. So the definition is given like this. Definition section is an optional where you are defining what is digit, number, whatever you want to recognize that you are putting. But remember, definition section is just like a macro. Okay, just like a hash defined pi 3.14. So whenever you write digit 0 to 9, what does it mean? Whenever you write digit, it means 0 to 9, any character between 0 to 9. Okay, so it is like a name, and this is a rule. So it's like a macro. Okay, so as I mentioned, so I don't repeat it again. I just want to tell you one thing. In exam, sometimes you may be asked that Lex is also called a pattern action language, because you write a regular expressions which are known as the patterns, and you write the action which is C code. Okay, so that's why it is pattern action language. And as I mentioned, patterns are translated into NFA, then DFA, then optimized and stored in the form of a table. basically driver routine, and that driver routine is called from the main program, and then it will scan your input, and based on the input it will give you a corresponding output according to your actions. Okay. So this is a rules section. Rules is a compulsory section. Definition section is an optional section. Okay. Then, okay, now one more thing I want to you must have tried this thing. What is the meaning of this? In square bracket you write caret and then ABC. That matches with what? If you write this as a pattern or a definition, this is going to match with what? Any idea? So remember, whenever you write a square bracket and then caret ABC, it will match. This is except ABC. Okay. Excluding ABC, it will match with everything. Okay, so it will not match A, not match with B, not match with C, but rather than that, it will match with anything and everything. Is this point clear? What I am trying to say? Yes. Okay. But remember, this is when it is enclosed in square brackets. This point should be very clear. This is I am saying square brackets, then caret, then A. Suppose if you write A, E, I, O, U like this, which means it means that except A, E, I, O, U, okay, it will match with anything. Okay. But remember, this should be written in a square bracket, then it should be caret. If it is like this, it has a meaning that this will match with any character except, okay, that is excluding A, E, I, O, U. Okay. But if you write this alone directly, it has a different meaning. So if you're without square bracket, if you write this caret, it has a different meaning. That I am going to tell you very short. So please remember these things, okay? So you know this question mark means one time or zero time. Okay, dot you know, star you know, plus. Okay, there are three classes. Okay, special insight. These three things are special insight. Which things? This slash, this minus, and caret. These are special inside square brackets, and all other operators are irrelevant inside the square bracket. So these three things having a special meaning where inside the square bracket. If you write it inside the square bracket, it has a special meaning. Okay, what is the meaning of this? It will match either with minus or plus. Okay, this means A to D. This means 0 to 4, capital A to capital C. As I mentioned, okay, in bracket, if you write caret, it means all character except ABC. Okay, that also includes special and control character. Remember, except ABC means it's not limited to alphabets like D, C, T, D, E up to Z, but it also matches with capital letters, digits, anything. Okay, then this plus, then you see S. So whenever you write a minus, you can see the here I have written minus first. Okay, but here after plus, whenever I write minus, so use a escape sequence. Okay, so plus, then backslash, and then minus, which means same, that it is plus and minus. Okay, and then followed by 0 to 5 plus, so one or more occurrence of 0 to 5. What is the meaning of that? It will match with anything but not any alphabet. Okay, so all characters which are not letters or small letters or capital letters, it will match. So remember this, caret has a special meaning when written inside the square bracket. Dash has a special meaning. It has a meaning of range. 0-9 means 0, this 9 means the characters from 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. Okay, and this is also having a special meaning. Okay, which is escape character in C, which you know, right? Okay, this you know. So now there are few operators which are context sensitive. So remember, context sensitive operators of let's, very important. Okay. So as I mentioned, this caret, this is first because it has a different meaning if it is within square brackets. It has a different meaning if it is just like this. This is not in square bracket. So this caret, if the first line of the if the first character of an expression is caret, then that expression is matched only at the beginning of a line. Remember, if you want something to be matched only at the beginning of a line, not anywhere else, okay, then it is this thing. So here it does not mean except A and B. That means you want to match this AB, but only at the beginning of the line. Remember, there is a difference. Caret AB, there is no square bracket. So which means you want to match AB, but where? Only at the beginning of the line. If you write it inside the square bracket, which means any character excluding ABC that will match with this. Okay, so it is context sensitive. If there are square bracket, it has a different meaning. If it is without square bracket, it has a different meaning. It says that you have to match the expression, you want to match the expression only at the beginning. Is this thing clear? Saloni, Jeet, Harsh, Henna. Okay, fine. So similarly, dollar is a second context sensitive operator. So if the last character of any expression is dollar, for example, AB dollar, the last character of the expression is dollar, then the expression is matched only at the end of the line. So this is very important. It's matched only at the end of the line. Okay. So it is same as okay, you are matching it at the end of the line followed by a slash n, right? So whenever there is a new line character, it would indicate that there is a beginning of a new line, right? So this AB should match at the end of the line. And there is a third operator, otherwise the dollar is the symbol also. Okay, and this dollar, if it is coming like this, it means different. That's why context sensitive. Similarly, this slash. So this slash is acting as a, look ahead operator and indicates the trailing context. So this is very important. You see this example last. So what does this mean? If there is a DO, okay, and then there is a slash. So this is not an escape sequence, okay. It means a look ahead. So you just look ahead. If the next thing is letter or digit star, okay, after DO, if there is a 0 or more occurrence of letter or digit, okay, then only it will match. Okay, so remember, this slash is also here meaning the look ahead. So what it says is you match do. Okay, do is going to be matched only if next set of characters, uh, characters are either digit or letter. Okay, so you just go ahead in the input sequence, see the next characters. If they are letters or digits, then only match with this. Otherwise, see, normal meaning of this is different. Okay, so when it is coming like this slash, okay, it is a different meaning, and that's why it is context sensitivity. Okay, so if you have a do, and if the look ahead is this letter or digit star, then you do something. Okay, uh, that thing we will see. So the meaning is these are the three things which are context sensitive. Please remember caret, slash, as well as dollar. These three things, depending on where they come, how they come, they mean different. Okay. You also know about lex actions, which you write as a C code, right? Generally, you write like this, right? Integer action 1, A to Z plus action 2. Okay. Default action, what is a default action? Is to copy input to the output. Okay, so if you have run the basic program, whatever you give an input, that same thing will be thrown back. Okay, so it's same thing will be shown to you. That is a copy input to the output. Okay, so we don't want to rely on default action because that is not desired thing. So we need to provide certain patterns to catch characters. I already mentioned YY text. YY text is a matching string. It's a character pointer to the matching string. Okay, it contains a text matched against a pattern, and copying YY text can be done by echo. So what is this echo that we have seen in program? Okay, in this program we have seen this echo, right? Echo is nothing but printing YY text. Okay, printing of YY text. Okay, uh, or copying of YY text is a pointer. Okay, copying the string pointed to by YY text is the action done by echo. Okay, default action is to copy the things, but if you want to do something else, you have to write a code. YY length is the length of the matching characters. Okay, now this point is very important. You see this last point. Lex always tries the rules in order written down, and the longest match is preferred. Please remember this. Lex always tries the rules in the order, okay, written down, and the longest match is preferred. Okay. Now you see here, there is something called integer, integer, and action is some code. Action means some C code. Okay. And then A to Z plus. Then there is some again C code, action 2. Okay. So, what do you think? Where do the input integers will match? Where this string integers, if you give this as an input, where it will match? Will it match to the first rule? Will it match to the second? Which rule? This rule or this rule? Getting my question? Jeet says first, no. Getting my question? Harsh, Hannah, Saloni, Rahil. Is the question clear or not? What I am saying is, if you write this 2 in your Lex program, integer is one pattern. If integer is encountered, you execute action 1. A to Z plus is a second pattern. If A to Z plus is encountered, you execute action 2. Remember this rule. Lex always tries the rules in the order written down. End. There is end. The longest match is preferred. So remember, order is not going to be followed in case the longest match. The question is clear or not? Yes? Okay. So let me tell integers, this will match to the second pattern because you see integer, this is a 7 characters. So if you take just first 7 characters of integers, it will match with this first pattern. But this entire integers will match with A to Z plus. Yes or no? It is a one or more letter between A to Z. So integers, this 8 letters, INTEGERS, it will match with A to Z plus, okay, because it's an 8 length. No doubt, one would think that integer would match with this place, integer will match with this, and so action 1 will execute, and then S will match with this second, and action 2 will execute. But that is not going to happen, okay, because integers, the length of integers is 8. Okay, so whenever you write a Lex rules, okay, it first tries to match it with the longest size rule. Okay, so which pattern matches it with the most size? Okay, first it will try to give a preference to that. Okay, so in case of integers, okay, this is the longest pattern which matches the integers, and so it will match the second pattern and execute action 2. Okay, are you getting what I am saying? Are you getting what I am saying? Jeet, Hannah, okay. Saloni, yes, okay. Rahil, Rahul, if you are there, then yes, okay. Now my second question is, order matters. Okay, if two patterns are matching the same string and having the same length, then order matters. Okay, if the first pattern also matches the 7 length, second pattern also matches the 7 length, then which one would be executed? Which one would be executed? First, first one. Very correct. Okay. Fine. My last question to you. If you change the order, first I write A to Z plus, sorry, A to Z plus, uh, and then action 1. Okay, first I write this, and then I write integers, and then I write action 2. Is it correct to write like this or not? Or is it valid to write like this or not? Let me say that this should not happen. Why? No. Why? Sorry, integer. Rahil is saying correct. Any reason, Rahil? Integers, integer le lo, right? Integer then action 2. Why? Because first pattern will always match. Very correct. So integer has to be written before A to Z plus. Are you getting? Others? Are you getting? You should not write the integers, I mean, afterwards. Otherwise, it will never match because it will always match with the first pattern A to Z plus. So, okay. So now tell me, in C program, if you have a keywords and identifiers, okay, both you want to write the rules, which rule you will write first? For keywords or for identifiers? Okay, keywords means integer, float. For keywords, you will write first and then identifiers. Everybody is getting? Everybody is getting? Yes, because if you write keywords first, that keywords will be first matched. Okay, but if you write identifier first, everything will match with the identifier, and never it will be compared with the keyword case. Okay, so that should be the thing. Okay, so now this is a second program. So all of you please see this program. Now it's about the programs only, right? I want to, I will give you some difference. So you have to tell me the output. Okay. So this is a rule section between percentage, this sign percentage, 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 percentage. Okay. Now you see this is a pattern. First pattern is this. What is the meaning of that? Anybody would like to tell? This, remember, this caret is outside. Context sensitive, right? Within square bracket, it is different. Outside square bracket, it is different. This caret is outside, then there is a square bracket. Within that, there is a space. Okay. Then there is a star, and then there is a new line. Okay. So caret means it should match the beginning of the line. So this pattern, okay, should match at the beginning. This entire is the pattern. Caret is before the square bracket. That means there should be 0 or more occurrence of space. In square bracket, there is a space or blank. Okay, so 0 or more occurrence of space should match at the beginning of the line. Okay, and then followed by a new line. Then I have not written anything. This is entirely the pattern. Whatever is shown in yellow, it's a pattern, and there is nothing. So there is no action. It's like a semicolon. Okay, there is no action. Don't do anything. If it is just a slash n, okay, then you do echo. Echo means whatever the thing is there in YY text, you just reflect it. And then you increment YY line number. Now, what is YY line number? From main program, this YY line number is a global variable which is set to 1. Okay, so this is a defined variable. So I have not declared it. Okay, YY line number is set to 1. And then I call lexical analyzer, YYLex. So what lexical analyzer will do? It will scan your input, and whenever you find a new line, the line number is incremented. So line number is incremented means YY line number plus plus. Okay, you first echo the thing and then it will be incremented. If it is not matching with any of the first two patterns, so dot star. So dot means anything except new line. Okay, except new line, anything it will match, and dot star means 0 or more occurrence of that. Then what you will do? You will write this action printf. You are going to print two things: line number and YY text. Okay, you are going to print. So whenever any other things which will not match with this first and second, so there you are going to third, and it will print two things: YY line number and text. Okay. Okay. Yes, matches the blank lines, Rahil. You are talking about the first pattern, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. So now you see, suppose my input is like this. This is the same example, input output. So my input is like this. And this is my output. So see, I have separated this is input. Okay. And this is output. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a line number. And this is output. So can you tell me why this input leads to this output? So let us try to see it. Okay, first is something like KUR, TR, TOTR, something, some random stuff, right? So, and then there is a blank. Okay. So line number is 1, remember, initially line number is 1, then scanning happens. So when it scans this, it will match with where? It will not match with the first, it will not match with the second, but rather it will match with this third, because this K, UR, TR, TOTR, this random stuff is matching with dot star. So there you are going to print the line number, which is 1, and YY text. YY text is what? This KUR, TOTR. Okay. So you will match, you will print 1 and this. And then if it is an enter, that is a new line character is given. So whenever there is a new line character, okay, so you will echo it. So that new line character will be echoed. So again, you will be also going into new line. Okay. Whenever you match a new line, there is an echo. So slash n will be inserted. So in output also you will go in the new line. So 2 will begin from the new line. Okay, and YY line number plus plus. So right now value of YY line number is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the 2 is there. And now it is BVURE. So BVURE matches with this last pattern. Okay, matches with this again BVURE. Okay, and whenever you insert some space or new line, what it will be doing is it will print 2 and corresponding text. It will print 2, that is the current line number, and DVURE. Okay. So now you can see in the input, then there is a blank lines. Okay. You can see the first blank line, second, there could be few blank lines. Let's say there are 2 blank lines, 1 line, 2 line. All those blank lines, as Rahil said, it will match with this pattern. Slash n is also part of pattern. Okay. That is, there are so many blanks and then new line. So blank lines, but for that I am doing nothing. Okay. So blank lines are just ignored. So this line after DVURE, this space is just ignored. But when it comes about this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. When it comes to this 1 2 3 4 5, so there is a space ahead, and then there is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so this space will match with what? Okay, this space will not match with the it's at the beginning, right? So it will not match with the first line. Why? Because although there is a blank star, but there should be a slash n afterwards, and it's not a slash n. Okay, there are spaces, but after space 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 starts. So it will not match with this, but rather spaces and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 matches at this place. Okay, and this entire thing is matching here, and including space, because dot can also match space, it just cannot match slash n. Okay, so that space, then 1 to 9 will be printed with the line number whatever it is, 3. Okay, so are you getting this space? Even though it is a sequence of space, it will not match with the first pattern, because for the first pattern there should be slash n at the end. Okay, but and before slash n there is nothing, but here I have 1 to 9, so it will not match with the first. It will try to match it with the longest one. Longest kaun sa wala hai? It is not the first one. This blanks will be matched, but the longest match will be dot star. Are you getting why it is matching with the third one? Because the third one is the longest match. Am I saying correct or not? Rahil, Saloni, uh, yes, Anna. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so that way, so this is the corresponding output. So similarly, this is 4 and this is 5. Okay, so this is the corresponding output. Okay, now you see, this is a third example. Okay, now what is my purpose here? My purpose is Lex programs could be simple as well as too technical also. Okay, so here are a few examples of few technical things. Okay, like array declaration. You can recognize array declarations, like you know that integer a, then 5 is one kind of array declaration, right? Or so let me give you, it's a file pointer. This is a declaration section. File pointer, declare file. Okay, this is a definition section. These all are the definition section. So you see there is a blanks. Blank means space or tab star. 0 or more occurrence of space or tab, which is blanks. Letter A to Z. Digit 0 to 9. Identifier, letter or underscore followed by letter, digit or underscore 0 or more times. Number, digit plus. Now you see these things are known to you, right? Now you see array declare part. Okay, what is an array declaration? So it identifier, like ABC is the name of an array. It should be identifier. Then there should be a square bracket. So it is written like this in quotes. If you want to match a square bracket exactly, in quotes, square bracket. Then again at the end also square bracket. This is an array declaration, right? Just like you are writing ABC 5 like this. Okay, and in between there should be some number like 5 10 15 etc. So this is an array declaration part. Now what is a declaration part? Declaration part means it could, so declaration part could be either array declaration or it could be simple id. Okay, so you can also write like this, right? Integer a of 5 comma b. This is also declaration. Okay, so what I wanted to tell is whether it is array declaration where square bracket, then there is some size of array, then end bracket, or simple id. Okay, that is also declaration part. You just see the rules, right? Declaration list. Now what is a declaration list? So it could be declaration part followed by blanks, then comma. So you declared one array, then you put some blanks, optionally, I mean blanks, then comma, then blanks, star. Okay, star means 0 or more times. So declaration part means either array declaration or identifier. Okay, so like A, B, C, D, these are identifiers, or array indices like A, then bracket 5. Okay, then there should be blanks. Okay, or then blanks means star. So even if star is 0, occurrence is also allowed. So even if there is no blank, it is okay. Then comma. So you declare like this, that I mentioned, right? A of 5 comma B. So comma, then again there could be possibly blanks. This is star. Okay, followed by again blanks, because you can also have blanks, right? And declaration part and blanks. Okay, so basically it's nothing but it is allowed to have blanks. It's like that, integer a, like say ABC, then blanks, then DEF of 60. This is also valid declaration. Okay, you won't get any error if you write like this. But if you want to write a complete declaration, there should be data type, right? So either integer, so this is a string, or it could be float. Okay, after that there should be some blanks. Okay, so integer, then should be blanks, then ABC. This is a correct declaration. Integer or float, that's a data type, then blanks, and declaration list. Basically you can declare the variables followed by some blanks, and finally there should be semicolon. So basically this last rules allows you to write the array, okay, or identifiers, array identifiers or normal identifiers, okay, with the data type and blanks and everything. Okay, if you wish, you can write. Okay, so this is the program. What is a rule? What is the rule? You see the rule section. This was a definition section. Remember, this was entirely the definition section. This is a declaration section or C code section. Everything from this, it's copied directly to the C code. Okay, whenever there is a declaration means this. So whenever you encounter something like a declaration, that integer ABC kind of thing, or integer A comma B comma C comma D of 56 kind of this thing, then there should be semicolon. Okay, then it is a declaration. So then what you do? Fprintf. You use this fprintf function. Declare file is a file pointer that you have declared. Okay, and you write the matching text, that is entire thing that is matched is in YY text. Okay, so you print it. Okay, percentage s YY text. So YY text is a matching declaration that you will print in the file. Okay, YY wrap is just a for termination. So normally in YY wrap we close everything that we have opened. So if you have opened this file, okay, it has to be closed. Where you are opening, remember, in main function you have to first open this file in a write mode. Okay, this is a file pointer, deck file that you open using fopen in a write mode. So that is deck file, and then you call YYLex. So in YY wrap we generally do something like this, closing the things. YY wrap is just for ending something, right? Wrapping up of the details. Like if you have opened the files, then it is advisable to close those all files in YY wrap. Okay, so that data structures can be handled properly, file related. Okay, so let us see the input output related to this. Okay, let's see that. Okay, you see these are the inputs, some random stuff, and then these are the inputs. Okay, and what I have done is whenever I find declaration, I print it. So partition the output in two parts: the declarations and So you see W, J, K, this all stuff up to this semicolon is not matching with anything, right? You see, I mean, it matches with WJ and sequence of letters, right? It's a sequence of letters, so it matches with ID actually. Okay, but those things are not having corresponding actions. Okay, those are not declarations. So ID is there, but after ID there is no number and not something like that. So it is not matching with this pattern, integer declaration pattern. Since it is not matching with declaration, it is not printed. Okay, so up to this, everything is not printed. Nothing is printed. Okay, then there are some blanks. Remember, purposefully there are blanks. Okay, then it is integer AB. Now you see integer AB comma float CD comma EF. You see integer AB comma up to this is nothing is printed, but from float CD comma EF this is printed. This is printed. What is the reason behind that? My question is that why this float CD comma EF, there are blanks, right? Float blank CD comma blank EF. That is printed. But why this integer AB comma is not printed? Can you tell me the reason? Integer AB, don't you think that it should be matched over here? Don't you think integer is matched over here? Then there are blanks is matched over here. Then this declaration list, can't the declaration list match AB, comma, this AB, comma, blanks? Can't it match? You just see. Integer and blanks are matched. Declaration list, declaration part. So declaration part, array declaration part or ID. So yes, AB is an ID. It's okay. Okay. Then blanks optional. Then comma, integer AB, comma. So declaration list has declaration part which is AB, then optional blank, then comma, okay, then blanks. So this is matched. Okay, okay, then again there may be possibly blanks, then declaration part, blanks. Okay, so what I try to say is that is okay, declaration list, integer A, B, comma, but after that comma, okay, after that comma there is a blank and then there is a float. So this integer AB comma float CD comma EF, that entire thing is not matched. Okay, because there should be semicolon, right? According to declaration there should be semicolon after declaration integer AB comma some list, there should be semicolon, or rather integer A, yes, semicolon is missing. Yes, Jap is correct. Others are getting this issue. Saloni and others. I mean, Rahil, Anil. Yes, yes. Okay. So, I mean, for that purpose, this up to integer AB blanks, it is ignored. But from float CDEF, then there is a semicolon. So, this entire part, if you see, starting from float CD, comma, blank EF colon, that will match the declaration. Float, blanks, CD, and then finally semicolon, that will match with that. Okay, so this will match. Similarly, these things will be ignored. This thing will be ignored. Then yes, this will match again. This integer GHT, then same integers, declaration and everything will match, and so it will be printed. Then this will not match. Then float IRE DEXJ80, this will match. Okay, so this way the input, output and rejection, this is input, this is output, and these things are rejected. The third section is rejected. Hope you are getting some more knowledge about Lex programs now, that how the things are working, how the things are matched, compared, and I hope you got these programs. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Fine. So I suggest you, I have already uploaded this PDF. The program 4 is for identifiers, reserved words, and constants. I want to focus one thing, okay, that these all are the definitions, but in rules section, as I mentioned, the reserved word should be first. Again, I mentioned, although we have discussed this thing, if, else, while, switch, these are reserved words. They should be written first, then there should be identifier and all this. That is what I wanted to show. If you write identifier first, if, else, while will not be matching the category of reserved words. So this sequence is important. Identifier should be later, if, else should be. Okay, otherwise the program is easy to understand. You can understand like that. Okay, then how to write for float? So floating points can be, we can write a regular expression for floats, like this is the normal integer number, but you can have exponent part, optionally plus or minus part, and digits part. This we have already seen yesterday. Okay, this is just the Lex program for that. So you can have a optional integer part. You can see this is an optional part. Optional star is optional, right? So optional integer part. So you can see this printf is float with optional integer. So whenever it is float number with fraction part, okay. So and this one, the last one, is float with optional fraction part. So you can also write something like this: digits, then dot, and after dot there is nothing, but there can be exponent part. But so I mean, we can also consider like 123 point. This is also a valid number, which is optional. Fraction is optional. Okay, so this is a float number with optional fraction. Basically whatever you write, accordingly it will behave. Okay, other characters are just ignored. Okay, so you can see this is how it will be going to reflect your output. This is optional integer part, it will match here. Float number with fraction. Okay, so accordingly, so this is, you can see, like 0.234 e plus 09l. So this is a float number but optional integer part. It will match with this first optional integer part. Sorry, so second optional integer part. The last one is optional fraction part. So accordingly the things will be there. Okay, so you can read these programs. They are easy now to understand. From the next lecture onwards, okay, we will start with very important thing called syntax analysis or parsing. Okay. Context-free grammars, top-down parsers and bottom-up parsers are the basis of the compiler that we will start from the next lecture onwards. Okay. Thank you so much. With this, I end.